Let's bring in Randy Zelin now, a white-collar defense attorney and professor at Cornell Law School. Thank you for joining us this morning. To start with, this is, of course, unprecedented in the terms of we are talking about a former president of the United States. But let's talk about legally. Is there precedent for a case like this?
No, but let me just take one quick step back. It's no longer unprecedented. It's almost now precedented because it happened now 3 times, maybe a 4th, and we've really almost become immune to it. It's no big deal. It doesn't affect his poll numbers. In fact, if anything, his poll numbers tend to bump up because he uses this to say, hey, listen, I'm still going. I'm doing this for you. I'm willing to actually end up in jail to keep on fighting for you. So quite frankly, anybody who says that this is done to knock him out of the race, it's silly because the numbers don't reflect that.
So what happens from here, though? Do you think we actually see this play out in a courtroom?
I think that we do. I think the interesting analysis is going to be now that we have 3 indictments, 1 in the state of New York, 2 federal indictments, and possibly a 4th in Georgia. I think the first question will be which one goes first. To me, what I find amazing and so odd is that, quite frankly, if the New York cases were treated as misdemeanors, those cases are a slam dunk. I mean, the records were falsified. The classified document case is also an equally strong case, though, again, it's a bit dry. And basically what you have is a former president who thought it would be cool to hold on to these documents. I don't think anyone would ever suggest that he did that to try to harm the country. This indictment, the January 6th indictment, to me is the most interesting one because it's odd. We thought he'd be charged with inciting an insurrection. We all felt that would be difficult to prove because what was his intent up here? So what the special prosecutor did was find very dry, very technical charges to kind of take that notion of intent out of it. Yet intent is still critical because if the former president's defense is, listen, I truly believe that the election was rigged, I truly believe that the election was stolen, then he did not intend to commit a crime. So for me, if the government can flip one of those 6 unindicted co-conspirators, that's how the government will be able to establish intent. But having said all of that, 75 million people voted for him. He'll be able to find one in each of these trials who will not convict him.
Yeah, without, though, flipping one of those co-conspirators, as you mentioned, how does the prosecution move forward here? How do you prove that he knew he was, in fact, lying?
Well, certainly there are a couple of statements in this speaking indictment which are telling, and they really do go to his state of mind. There's the one comment in the speaking indictment where allegedly the former president said, listen, you just tell them that the election was rigged and me and the Republican Party will take it from there. The comment to former Vice President Pence, where the former president allegedly says, you know what, Mike, your problem is you're too honest. It is remarkably similar to some of the comments that we see in the classified document case where allegedly the former president says to Evan Corcoran, well, listen, why can't we just tell them we don't have any documents? There is this flippancy. There is just, I want to do what I want. And he treats this country like it's his own private business. But again, he uses this to his advantage because he says to the American people, I'm willing to die for you. I'm willing to go to jail for you. I don't need this. I have as nice a plane. I have as nice houses. I'm a billionaire. And I'm willing to do all of this because I simply want to be your president. And that has a resounding effect on a lot of people.
And the former president expected in court tomorrow. A lot to break down here. Randy Zelin, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.